Before we get in the video, please like, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, go ahead and leave a comment below, and click on the How You Can Help, which brings up the Family Friendly Game website and gives you lots of ideas how you can help us. Thank you.
Hey everybody, Paul Burry, Family Friendly Gaming. This is an FFG Politics on who can spend your money better. This is something that you don't hear a lot of people discuss. You don't hear a lot of people talk about. Oh wait, court's in session. You don't hear much discussion about this, and I don't really understand why we don't hear about it. I would think we want to hear about it more. There's some politicians who act like they can spend your money better than you can. And don't forget, in the United States of America, the tax dollars is our money, right? You know, I'd be like, what do I mean? You know, they think they can spend it better. You sit there and hear them constantly complain about, you know, illiterate voters, idiot people out there, deplorables. They make all these hateful comments about people. Oh, they're bitter clingers. And you go, wait a minute, wait. This is the people you're supposed to be allegedly representing, right? So when you run for office, you're supposed to represent these people, not hate on them, right? But then let's sit there and say, oh, they don't know how to spend their money and they waste their money. How many times have you seen the government waste money? In fact, pretty much every single bill has pork in it. I think we did another video on the pork spending, right? And you go, well, it's got all this pork in there and they're doing all this wasteful spending. How can they claim they're spending our money better? Legitimately, you know, and one of the things that I've always believed in is, you know, Jesus talked about in the Holy Bible to take the beam out of your own eye before you try to take the speck out of your brother's eye. I've always believed we should take care of all the problems we have in America before we start sending out hundreds of millions of dollars to foreign countries. Why are we doing that? I mean, legitimately, you know, take the one, I think it was like was it the third stimulus bill? I think it might have been the third stimulus bill. We spent hundreds of millions of dollars to other countries, giving them all this money. And it was like, okay, well, we'll give some, you know, most Americans $600 per person, unless, of course, you know, you live at home and you're over a certain age, you know, because we had that happen with one of our kids. And you go, oh, wait a minute, what's going on there? You know, or I'm sorry, was that the one with the $1,400 per person? Okay, yeah, and they actually fixed that from the six. They've had so much stimulus spending on this, and that's of course another topic. But it comes down to, who do you think is better at spending your money? And different people have different philosophies on money. Okay, so let me tell you about what happened when I was in high school. So I had all my friends, and they would eat out lunch every single day. They would eat out every day, right? Whether it was going out to a fast food place, whether it was buying from the lunch at the school. Back in that day, we had to pay for our lunches. I know a lot of kids now don't have to pay. I brought a sack lunch. And because I brought a sack lunch, and I ate a sack lunch every single day, I ate a cold lunch. I want that to sink in, okay? I was able to save that money, my allowance money, my chore working money, and I was able to buy tapes. Now this is back before CDs, so I would buy tapes of musicians and artists that I wanted to listen to. So a new tape would come out, and I would buy it, and I'd be able to play it in my car, and be able to listen to it at home on my boombox. Happy, 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 happy. So I had some of my classmates, that's not fair that you could buy that new tape. Well, I sacrificed by not spending on eating out every day, right? And I came back with, well, it's not fair that you can eat out every day. You get a hot meal every day at lunch. I don't. You know, when you have this attitude amongst some politicians that you shouldn't save your money for something that's important to you, and other people are spending their money on something else that's important to them, like, I'm not hating on them for eating out every day. If they want to eat out every day and that's their choice with their money, fine. That's their choice. That's what they decided to do with it. I decided to do something different. I decided that I'm going to save it for something that I find I prioritize higher level, right? And so that's another thing that scares me when you hear some politicians about, oh, we're going to take, you know, money out of people's bank accounts We'll give them some kind of a tax on the money they have in their bank accounts. What, excuse me? That's messed up. You know, other people get their money and spend it, and they sit there and go get to enjoy all these things, whether they have a nicer car or a nicer house, or they're eating out all the time. They're making the choices with their money. And others of us are like, no, we're saving for a rainy day. We're saving for when the air conditioner breaks, and we don't have to sit there and try to figure out how to bring up the money to pay for, you know, $3,000-$5,000 air conditioner, you know. Or a vehicle breaks down, we gotta go start getting a new car note based on that. You know, there are those of us who are like, no, we're gonna save up, and then when we reach a certain point, we're gonna buy some stuff we want. But we want to make sure we have a cushion just in case there's a problem. You know, so like I said, there's different mentalities, and people who claim to celebrate diversity should celebrate different mentalities instead of like, we're gonna take from you because you sacrificed, you crimped and saved, and didn't get all the pleasures others did. Right? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Or maybe they're buying some really nice pizza from the grocery store, and I'm getting the cheap one, right? Like, you know, it may not be as tasty or as good, but I'm spending less money, and I'm able to then reinvest that in, like, say, family-friendly gaming, the wig, the gavel. You know, those all came from crimping and saving, and not spending my money on everywhere every time, right? I mean, so those are things that come up when you get to the government. I don't think they should be getting involved in this at all. Like, no. You know, I personally, people ask me, what do you believe in? I believe in as limited government as possible. The Constitution only gives for a couple of reasons that they can actually do things in the government, and they have tried to explode that under the general welfare. It's defense of the country and general welfare. And I get really irritated when people don't even discuss that, and they just act like the government's supposed to just be in all areas of our lives, do everything for us, and take care of us, and be a big old nanny state. And it's like, no. I believe more in freedom. Now, there's a cost to freedom, right? That means people are going to make the wrong choices. You might go, what am I talking about? Okay, well, people will sit there and spend their money on drugs. People will spend their money on alcohol. People will sit there and you know, wind up having to get medical treatment from their choices. Yolanda's uncle, he died early 40s, I believe. And he lived the way he wanted to live, with all kinds of drug and alcohol. He tore up his liver. He was a criminal multiple times, and ultimately he died in the hospital. Now people will be like, well, that's not, you know, who's going to sit there and pay the hospital bill? I don't know who paid the hospital bill. Ultimately, I do not know. What I do know is he lived the way he wanted. He made the choices the way he wanted, and I'm sure the rest of us have to pay extra costs at the hospital because, you know, he didn't have the money to pay for it. You know, he chose that life, and he, like I said, he died in his early 40s. You know, that's what some people choose. That's what freedom gives us. Freedom gives us people making the wrong choice. Freedom also gives us people making the right choices, right? Living right, doing the right thing. Couples staying married, raising their kids, working out problems they have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so it goes beyond money. And I don't want the government getting involved in this and saying, well, you know what? This person made a wrong choice here, so the rest of you who are making right choices have to pay for it. Why should I have to clean up their mess? It's a fair question, you know. And unfortunately, in my life, I've had to clean up all kinds of people's messes. And it gets a little old after a while. You're like, I'm always cleaning up someone else's mess, and they don't ever seem to care. They have no responsibility. Why am I constantly having to be responsible for them? So that's, you know, kind of my thoughts. And like I said, I've seen so much waste from government, I don't really personally trust them to do the spending right. And I would rather to be able to control the choices with the money myself than to sit there and give them all this money for stuff that they're doing wrong. I mean, I'll give you an example. All the taxes we pay for schools. I would rather they say, you know what, instead of giving, you know, doing all the taxes for that, or maybe you tax everyone, and you sit there and say, here's a stipend for your family, for your kids, there's a stipend for your family, for your kids, and we can choose how we want to educate them. Yeah, I mean, why? I've always find that funny. You have people say, you know, we're the party of choice. And you go, okay, I want a choice to spend my own education money. No, you can't do that. I want a choice what to do with my own Social Security money. No, you can't do that. I do investments, and I'm definitely doing better than the government does with their investments. So why Why am I denied choice? Why am I denied that freedom? Why are they such micromanagers, control freaks in this? Like, why can't we get the choice? And that's what all I'm asking for, is I just want the choice. And if some people are like, you know what, I don't want to deal with it, I want the government to take care of it, fine, let them. You know what I'm saying? Like all I'm saying is we deserve the choice. So that's my thoughts on that. And I want you to really think about, who do you think actually spends your money better? Who's a better, and you can leave, comments below, and be sure to, turn on notifications and smash the like button. Thank everyone for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.